Hey guys, Joshua Cameron again. As if you didn't know, right? Um, my thoughts on the immigration ban and the executive order. So, the acting attorney general has been fired. Imagine that. One of the first things I was taught in the army is that an unlawful order can and will come down on you. So if you follow an unlawful order, you are just as culpable as the guy who issued it to you. So I definitely have a lot of respect for Acting Attorney General Yates, um, and yeah, incredible. I reflect back on on my life. 8 days. September 11th happens. 8 days later, I'm boots on the ground in Kosovo. Kosovo is predominantly Albanian, predominantly Muslim, um, and there are a lot of people that were completely baffled by the fact that even though we already had our orders 6 months prior to this, that we would go to a country that was predominantly Muslim and then have the audacity to give them free medical aid as if they are less than human. Um, and so I ended up being flagged as somebody who could drive well, and so they put me on the driving detail, and then I ended up, really enjoying it, and I gave all of my time, volunteered all of my free time to go out and give free medical aid to civilians through what we call medcaps. Um, and I don't know that I have a more distinct honor in my life. I mean, I showed up to these towns. A lot of them hidden in the mountains. We had to climb a couple feet of snow at certain times. So we get there with our medical staff. Here I am in my flak vest, my load bearing vest that holds all my magazines and my canteens, and got my M16, got my Kevlar on. I've got, big old cold weather boots. So I look like I'm ready to rock and roll, um, through combat. And these kids are losing their minds. At some point, their parents probably told them we would be dead if it weren't for American soldiers. If Americans didn't stop the Serbians from annihilating us, we wouldn't even be alive. So here I am, looking like a soldier, dressed up in the gear of a soldier, looking like I mean, kids probably don't know whether my M16 is loaded or not, if the safety's on, if it's ready to fire. And they run up to me screaming, Americans! Ah! I mean, losing their minds. They speak no English, but they know the word Americans. And beyond heartening. Yeah, that experience has definitely left me with something to reflect upon in my darkest hours. Something that kind of a light to kind of redeem me when I feel like I've fallen. Um, and then we turn around and we just give a big, hey, guess what? We got a big FU for you guys. Oh, you're brown? You're brown from a different country? Oh my gosh. And you don't pay us oil money? And we don't get to steal your oil? Oh, guess what? Sorry, folks. You ain't coming in. I don't know exactly how 100% accurate that is, that we aren't stealing the money of the people who, or the oil of the people who we blocked, but I would be willing to bet that we don't have some sort of oil deal or some sort of corporate colluding going on with these 7 countries that we banned. Um, and it's kind of disgusting to me that the state of affairs that we've uh, fallen into. Um, it was my honor to be a soldier. Granted, a lot of it, I learned much more of what it felt for me. The more I decompressed, the more I debriefed myself, and the further away I got from it, the more meaning I actually derived from it. Some of the biggest, most impactful things in our lives take a long time for us to fully understand, what it truly means to us. And then as we are evolving, as we are growing, we're gonna, derive more out of it. Just much the same way a piece of art. The older you get, the more you look at it, the more it reflects back at you because you're simply looking at the different reflections of yourself. Um, but holy cow, man! Like it's honoring to me that I have this humanitarian, this time where I stood up and helped people at no benefit other than, yeah, I did my job. I didn't necessarily have to go around and make the kids as happy as I did. I didn't necessarily have to to play with them, even though that I did. But I was there. I humanized them. These are people. Um, and the fact that we are so willing to dehumanize, and granted, this is, a gross generalization, um, but the fact that we have people that are so willing to dehumanize others simply off of very superficial things, whether it be abortion, you believe that I shouldn't know what you're talking to your doctor about? What the hell, man? I should know everything you talk to your doctor about. How dare you? Um, or hell, air pollution here in Utah. These same guys that say that we had a victory. Mike Pence, the first vice president ever to march with a pro-life rally. Too bad we poison the citizens of Utah, where 1,000 to 2,000 people die a year because of our air pollution. So I saved a fetus, but within that 4 hours, somebody died. Huh. Okay, well that's interesting. So while I can see the inherent value of a fetus because I have a child, um, I don't see that it's somehow more valuable than a living, breathing human being that can live and breathe on its own, or on their own rather. And yeah, man, all this stuff just blows my mind. Anyway, I gotta get to work, but yeah, I just wanted to reflect some thoughts. Had some things kind of eating away at me. Kind of figure I'll continue on with this video blog series of sorts. Um, anyway, hopefully you will grow accustomed to my face. If not, well, too bad, because the only face I got. All right, you guys take care. Bye.